headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. We're taking your calls at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. So, Ken, it is the time of year when people reset their lives. You've got a whiteboard that's erased. You can write anything on this new year that you want. There's something grace-filled about a new year. And sometimes people kind of do ish or wish. They call it a resolution, and then they change nothing.
That's right. Because the resolution is just that. It's something that I kind of feel like I want to do. Maybe there's some guilt driving the resolution. Maybe there's a wish.
There might have been some champagne involved.
That's right.
Setting the resolution.
That's a good point. Maybe even peer pressure. And all of a
Drunk
sudden.
goal setting.
Yes.
That's a resolution.
And so we set a resolution, but as you know, the data is just abysmal. They all fall off around February.
Yeah.
The gym gets empty again is how that
Years
works.
ago, there were no machines available in January. I was working with a personal trainer, and he said, no problem, just wait till Valentine's Day. There won't be a soul in here. 45 days in, the gym is empty. Yeah, so that's the difference in a resolution, an ish, a wish, a goal. A goal is something you actually do. Goals are dreams with work boots on, and it means asking, what do I need to do differently? What has to be true that was not true before to get this abundant life? And that's why you're listening to us. You want a more abundant life. We want that for you. We love you. We bust you. We encourage you. We pray for you. We cry with you. We do everything on this show, all so you can have an abundant life, a more abundant life, and taking the steps to do intentionality with that. So let's do an old-fashioned goals setting lesson, Ken. The old guys, Brian Tracy, Ziglar used to say there's a wheel of life, and you need to set goals and be achieving and growing in all of these areas. You need financial goals, you need intellectual goals, you need family goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, career goals, and social goals. And all of those are important. And generally speaking, each of us have one of those categories or two that we're really naturally good at.
Yeah.
Comes easy for us.
Yes.
And one or two that are really difficult for us.
That's right. And so you said something earlier I want to just hone back on. You said goals are dreams with work boots on. That implies some intentionality and diligence to actually say, okay, this is what specifically I want to accomplish. And then I've got to actually get up and do that. And so I want to know your thoughts, because I know you've been teaching this for a very long time, certainly with the Entree Leadership, our business division here at Ramsey Solution. So how do we put work boots on goals?
When you set a goal, then you have to start figuring out and writing down how you're going to accomplish it. Okay, right. I want to lose 30 pounds. Great. Okay. When? Okay. Over 90 days. That's 10 pounds a month, 2.5 pounds a week. Now, what are you going to do to do that? Just setting the goal doesn't do anything.
That's right.
But I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to cut out breads and sweets. Okay, now we've got some tactical things we're doing to actually cause the weight to lose. I want to get out of debt. Okay, I got to get an extra job. I got to cut out the subscriptions. I got to sell the stupid motorcycle sitting in the garage, whatever it is, right? And so you're going to take some actions to hit the goals. And unless you do, the needle's not going to move. Now, goals that work are just dreams unless they're 5 things. They need to, be number 1, be specific. Yep. Number 2, they need to be measurable. Number 3, they need to have a time limit. So I want to lose weight is measurable, but it's not specific.
Yeah.
I want to lose 30 pounds is measurable and specific, but then you ask the question, how long do you want? You want to lose up 30 pounds over the next 10 years? Or how many times do you want to lose 30 pounds?
That's
okay.
Good.
So I want to lose 30 pounds over 3 months. Now we've got it, like I said a while ago, 90 days. That's 10 pounds a month, 2.5 pounds a week. Yeah. As soon as you put a time limit on the goal, you can back the math out. Okay, I want to read through the Bible. Great. When? In a year. Okay, 12 months. Right. Well, now we can look at the number of chapters in the Bible, the number of books in the Bible, have an Old Testament, New Testament, read through the Bible plan. There's lots of them. I want to run a marathon. Great. When? And now we can back into a training plan of how many miles I got to run to get ready for that. The next two things is goals need to be in writing.
Why is it important that they're in writing?
I'm not positive, but I have achieved almost none of my goals in my life if I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
The Bible says in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. It's almost weird, magical, but it's you're pretty much sure it's not going to happen. But something about when it leaves your mind and you write it, and I would physically write it. Like you like to write with a pencil.
I do. I absolutely do.
And I think there's something that happens there in the physiology of that causes us to go, okay, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, and you write it out. I'm going to make $100,000 this year, and you write it out. That's $8,333 a month. That's $2,100 a week. What have I got to do to get there? Yeah. You know, and once you start putting it on paper, it's there. And the last one of the goals, it has to be your goals, not your mama's, not your wife.
That's important.
My wife wants me to lose 30 pounds. Not going to work.
Yep.
My mama wanted me to be a dentist. I don't want to be your patient. Okay. Don't live other people's goals. Live your goals. Yep. And you people in leadership help people set goals that they set. When you set goals for them, it's not a goal, it's a quota.
So true. And what will happen is a goal towards a desired future that's not your desired future, as you just laid out some examples. Those goals now become distractions. They're actually distractions from what you should be doing. You'll never finish them.
Our team's built a guide for you to help you do goal setting. Go to RamseySolutions.com/goals, and it'll help you with this. Because, again, you need to touch these different areas. You need to do the 7 different things: financial, intellectual, family, spiritual, physical, career, and social. And in each of those areas, then, you need goals that are specific. They need to be measurable. They need to have a time limit. They need to be in writing. And you have to have personal, emotional ownership of them. They have to be your goals. And we can put forth 1,000 examples of people that have done this and how it works. And, oh, by the way, if you didn't lose 30 pounds, but you lost 28, I think you won. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, there's an old phrase out there. We don't know who it's attributed to, but the person who aims for nothing hits it every time. And I'll tell you, I've used this tool. This tool is unbelievable because it guides you through it. So you don't have to stress out. We're going to give you the categories: the financial, intellectual, family, spiritual, physical, career, social, and we walk you through how to actually use this, and it's going to keep you accountable. Oh, this is a wonderful guide to really make some serious gains in all of these areas in your life in 2023.
Well, I'll help you with the financial side because it's free.
There's that, too. Yeah, that's true.
All right, RamseySolutions.com/goals. Ish is a wish. Drunken resolutions don't count. We're setting real goals. This is grown-ups. We're setting goals. Knock it down, baby. Get after it. This is your year, baby. Go get it. Get you some. I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Guys, we appreciate you listening to the show. Obviously, this is a service to you folks across America by YouTube, by podcast, by talk radio, and we are honored to do just that. If you want to help us out, we would appreciate it. You can do 3 things if you want to help us out. It doesn't cost you a dime. Number 1, you can subscribe to the show if you're a YouTube viewer or a podcast listener. Just put it on your subscription. It affects the algorithms and causes people to find us more often. Thank you for that. You can leave a 5-star review. And remember my mother's saying, if you have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And nothing at all is okay, but 5 stars are better. Thank you. And, hey, you can also share it with your friends. Tell them where you listen on talk radio, or just hit the share button and share the YouTube link or the podcast link, and we really, really, really appreciate that. Todd is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Todd. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Better than we deserve. Merry Christmas. How can we help?
My wife and I, we stumbled across your baby steps, and we're on baby step 1. And yesterday, I discovered that I have a thrift savings account that I have forgotten about for over 10 years, and I'm not sure what to do with it. If we withdraw it and throw it towards the baby step 1 and 2, or leave it there.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay. How much is in the account?
A little over $3,200.
Okay. Well, here's what's going to happen mathematically. If you pull it out, do you still work for the government?
No, I was in the Army for 9 years.
Okay.
And I've been out for 10.
Thank you for your service. Okay, so the proper thing to do is to roll it to an IRA, because otherwise you're going to get a 10% penalty plus your tax rate. So you're going to pay 30 or 40% of this money out to the government to get it out. So it's kind of like borrowing money. I could borrow $3,200 at 30% interest, Dave, would that then pay off my debt? Would that be a good idea? Answer is no, right? So in a sense, that's what you're doing. It's not a lot of money because it's not a lot of money. So it's really not that big a deal. But conceptually, I hate giving the government 30% of the money to get my money out. So instead, I would just roll it to an IRA with a good SmartVestor Pro. Just click SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com, and they'll help you get that rollover done. Again, it's probably $1,000 it's going to cost you, and you'll get $2,000. So it's not like it's $200,000 that we're turning, or $300,000 we're turning into $200,000. That would be an ouchie moment for sure. But it is, it is improper technique, and so I'm going to be a legalist. And even though it's a small amount, just stick with it. Scott's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, Scott, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
Better than we deserve. How can John and I help?
Calling about a lovely mental and heart tug of war on putting myself and my wife and our future first to wipe out my mistakes of debt versus helping my parents, who should be in near retirement but have basically not set a great example, and they don't have their act together at all. So it's been a struggle for me because my wife had no debt coming into our marriage 3 years ago. I do, and it's my responsibility listening to you to get it all taken care of. And then my dad's business failed, and they didn't ask for help. But then I said, hey, let me at least pay your rent this month while you go find work. You need to, keep a roof over your head, Dad, because that's what you taught me my whole life. And now that I'm rolling into 2023, it's like, hey, I did a good thing. I need to go back to focusing on me. Happy wife, happy life. So that's where I'm mentally and emotionally at right now.
Are they still coming to you for money, or you still feel like you need to feed them?
No, they didn't even want that. They said, no, we'll figure it out. We don't want to be a burden. I'm like, you already are. So that was my choice volunteering it. I talked it over with my wife. She said, fine. If that's what you want to do for your Christmas gift, because we're married, she's like, fine, you can give them a month's rent, take care of it. I made them give me their landlord, so I paid them directly. And that was just me because I was losing my mind, and I just didn't want my parents on the street. My younger brother and I have agreed, we told them this over the past 3 years that the business was going to fail, and they didn't listen, so they put themselves here. So there's that tug of war of
Here's the deal, Scott. There is no tug of war. The greatest gift you can give your parents long term is for you to take care of yourself now.
Okay. And
if you continue to fight your wife and her, how long have you been married? 3 years, you said?
Yeah, or late bloomer. I'm not 45, so
that's all right. That's all right. I'm just saying, from a guy who's been married 2 decades. If that's what you want to do, is spouse speak for
stupid.
Wow, I wouldn't do that. All right. So,
and worse than that, she said, "Oh, we'll make that your Christmas gift, just to highlight the fact that I don't agree with it."
So you have played your "I wouldn't do that if I were you" card. 3 years in, congratulations. You spent it earlier than most of us do, but you'd have. The greatest gift you could give your parents long term is to be financially stable on your own, and you're not. You're probably not even close.
Like I've been I shut down all podcasts the past 3 weeks and just have been catching up as much as possible because I used to listen to a year or two ago and then I stopped, and now I'm like, it literally flipped the flip and switch in my brain. And I told my wife this. I said, I've not been a good husband. I shouldn't even have debt right now. I was like, I should have had this paid off a year ago. This is ridiculous, because she came from a family with intelligence of money. She has no debt.
Hey, listen. That's in your past. Who cares? Yeah. You're here right now. What are you going to do tomorrow? Listening to a bunch of podcasts is a waste of your time if you're not acting. And you listen to a bunch of podcasts and got all fired up, and then you sent your Christmas money to your parents.
Yeah. Well, I also paid off a line of credit last month and just paid off half the credit card this month because I'm a very successful salesperson.
Good.
So
get after it.
She sees the action.
Get after it. Get yourself out of debt. Get yourself an emergency fund. Get yourself on the road to financial freedom yourself. And then if your parents come to you and say, hey, can you support us? And you sit down with your wife and y'all come up with, here's what our boundaries are and here's what we're able to do so that we don't end up in the same situation. That's a next year after that challenge right now. Right now, you got to get yourself stable.
I love this. Now, how do you get the wife to my wife to, because again, she doesn't have my mistakes. So her point is, well, and I was like, hey, we're in this together. Like, I'm no joke. She's got a good amount of money. And she's like, well, that was mine before the marriage, blah, 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 blah. And I'm fine with that.
No. Then y'all don't have a marriage. Y'all have a business partnership.
That's what it feels like. But I don't want to bring it up. I'm like, am I being a jerk saying that? Like, I'm just trying to approach that in a teamwork responsibility thing. And I'm like, Dave, I was like, if we just tap that one savings account, my mistakes are gone, and then I can just pay you back, pay us back.
No, there's no paying back. There's no paying back. So the old Book of Common Prayer said, unto thee, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. That was the old marriage vows. We quit doing those type of things a generation or so ago, or 2 generations ago, and that was a mistake, because the proper way to have a high-quality marriage is to share your entire life.
Right.
There's no holdback. And so you're not going to sort of help her if she gets cancer.
Right.
You're not, and, well, you used to smoke, so you're just going to have to deal with that cancer thing on your own. And you're not going to do that. You're going to go, well, lady I married used to smoke, and now she's got cancer, and I'm going to take care of her. Richer for poor, in sickness and in health, unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. And so it's not the money, and it's not paying penance for the past. It's an indication of where the future's going, that we're combining our incomes, we're combining our assets, and we're going to make decisions together from this point forward. And we're going to take into consideration that she has a natural skill or a family skill on money that's above yours, and you've got some catching up to do on that skill, but you need to be sitting down and doing that. If you can't do that, you guys need to sit down with a good marriage counselor, because you currently are operating like roommates relationally. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Thanks for joining us, America. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. All right, let's go to the psychologist, Dr. Deloney, before we do our next little thing here. I want to revisit the last call because it is a common thing out there for second marriages and late marriages have more trouble combining their finances than two 22-year-olds that get married. Because number one, two 22-year-olds get married usually don't have anything to combine. But the other thing is they're just not there. There's no old dog trying to teach new tricks here. If you were burned in a marriage before, it makes it hard to trust again. And if you if you've lived independent and been responsible and saved up some money, and then you marry someone who has not been independent and has not been responsible and has not saved up any money and is in debt, I can see how you would resent that idea, but the thing I can't get my head around is how that doesn't go with the marriage package. Like, you didn't know you were signing up for this?
You see it in later marriages where
that's what I'm saying.
it's almost a compromise. Like, I just want to spend time with you. I like you. You're hilarious. You bring joy to my life. I want to spend time with you. I'm not going to do business with you, right? And I've got friends, like some of my closest friends in the world. I love them. I'd go to war with them. I ain't hiring them. Right, it's kind of like that. When he talked, the whole time I kept thinking, "Oh, she doesn't trust you," and whether she might love you, but she does not trust how you do business or handle money.
Not in an integrity way, but she doesn't trust his
make good choices.
Financial, emotional maturity.
That's right.
And giving money to the parents, who are also irresponsible.
Correct.
Added to her suspicions.
Out of guilt and all that.
Well, I mean, she's like, this guy's not trustworthy. He does stupid butt stuff.
Yes.
And that's what's running through her head. Right. But there's a thing here that has to happen. In order to have the highest probability of becoming very wealthy, you've got to work together and combine.
Right.
All the data tells us that. In order to have a high-quality marriage, you cannot operate two separate balance sheets. Right. It just does not lend us. Where your treasure is, your heart is also. And when you combine your finances, you're essentially combining your life. You're combining your future. You're combining your dreams. You're combining your fears. And not doing that is sort of like, I'm going to just walk around an ankle deep in the pool of marriage. I'm not going to get in the deep water.
It's just like going up to bat and you're only putting one hand on the baseball bat when you try to swing it with one arm. It's just not. You're just not going to be effective.
That's a good one.
Right? You're not going to be effective. And I think in this situation, it's a both and. He needs to admit,
yes,
the way I've done it doesn't work. So we're going to follow a unified plan, and I will commit to it. And he said, I'm a great salesman. He is. He's one of those.
He sells himself.
That's right.
A great salesman. I'm a great salesman, and one of the things I suffered with, most of us that are great salesmen suffer with this, we think we can out-earn our stupidity. And we're just going to make some more money, because making money is easy.
Yeah. But it's another scheme, another idea, another thing.
It's the way to fix this is I'll just make more money. And because I can always go do that. And, I still have to watch myself on that after even teaching this for 30 years.
Yeah.
I can just fix this. I'll just go make some more money because I've always been able to make money. But, up until I was 28 years old, I couldn't keep it at all.
Yeah, I can get it. It's like you had a hole in your live well, man. You could catch a lot of fish. They just went right out the back of the boat.
Yeah, and we're shocked that when we open the thing up, there's nothing in there. We caught a bunch of fish. Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
Yeah, it's like the whole thing's just emptying out. So, yeah, I think, but it's the note is to those of you that are married late, especially, or second marriages especially, or are considering that, you need to make this part of the deal. Not because Ramsey said so, but because it's best for your relationship and it increases your probability of wealth building. You're going to have a higher quality situation all the way around when the dude, in this case, becomes trustworthy, worthy of trust, because his actions are honorable and responsible and mature, and she quits treating him like a petulant little kid who is messed up, and I'm going to withhold my checkbook from this marriage.
Right. And that's going to require both people usually to learn a new skill, which is how to have a hard conversation.
Yep.
How to tell each other, I don't know how to do this. I'm not comfortable with you taking care of the money. Like, instead of going, if that's what you want to do and that's your Christmas present.
Yeah, that was very motherly.
Yeah,
not very
that
wifey.
Was very like Aunt Susan-y.
Yeah,
right?
that was not wifey. That was motherly.
Yeah.
That was like, you're an idiot little boy. Just go ahead. You're going to make a mess.
You spend all your mowing money on Mountain Dew. You feel free to do it.
That's how you want to do it. Yeah, that's what that was. I've heard that tone a time or two myself. So
I literally hear that on a weekly basis at my house. And it's justified. It's justified every time.
All right. So these conversation cards have kind of caught on.
Yes.
I got a memo today that now $1 million worth of them have left this building.
It's pretty wild.
It's actually closer to $1.2 million now of these things that you people have bought out there. Y'all are desperate for a conversation somewhere in America. This is pretty amazing. These things are popular, John. Congratulations, you have a hit.
And let me tell you, the money's cool. It's a cool indicator, as you say.
No, it's just a way to keep score.
But the people send me photos of their Thanksgivings, of their conversation, the multi-generational conversations, the people out just having, I always talk about chips and queso and nachos on my show. People talk about they have chips and queso and margaritas and they got the cards splayed out on the table. It's just cool seeing people get together and be humans together.
Yeah.
It's really
Questions for humans cards. Looks like a deck of cards, and there's one question on there for each human, and that's how it works. So we've got some we're going to play, right? We're going to play the game.
This is a Friends deck. This is the brand new Friends deck. We got a second edition here. So, Dave, what? This is incredible. What are you ashamed to admit that you let your pets do?
I go on vacation with us. I mean, I don't. Yeah, we take them when they go with the dog. It's a little Shih Tzu. He goes with us, but I guess that's kind of frou-frou. I don't know, but I mean, they don't like. He doesn't misbehave, and we just think it's cute. We're older than that.
My hound dog that I loved with all my heart. I told my wife she used to say that dog was in your bed long before I was.
Ooh.
But I used to let that dog slept on my pillow, with her head on the pillow.
No, that doesn't happen. No, we're not doing that. Not even the Shih Tzu.
Yeah, not even anymore. No. I don't want the dogs in my zip code anymore.
I'm too old for that crap. Yeah. Grandbabies don't even sleep in the bed. They go upstairs.
Yes.
So much less a dog.
What is something in our culture that's slowly being forgotten?
Grit. The ability to stick with something that's hard and not just abandon it at the first sign of adversity. Resilience.
I was going to say forgiveness. And I was been wondering what it is. Why can't people say the words "I'm sorry" or "that was my fault"? And I think we've created a culture where it's one strike and you're out. And you could have had a strike 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and if you are at fault for a thing, you're done forever.
If there were cell phones when I was in college,
oh gosh,
I would be gone.
Dave,
because there would be pictures and video.
That was the rule. Like no cameras. What is wrong with you?
Yes. It would no. I mean, it would. Oh no, that's not good at all. We had actual film.
Can you imagine
camera.
being that guy at Walgreens back in the day, or Eckerd's? Remember that store back in the day?
Yeah. Whoa, look at that. Who would have thought?
What item have you held on to that's not worth much money, but it's priceless to you?
Tools. Old family tools. That actually you don't even use them anymore.
Yeah.
But it's tools that like my grandpa would have used and that kind of stuff. And they're not even they're on the shelf in my office because they look cool and they're old and they mean something to me. I don't even keep them in the toolbox in the garage anymore.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's fun.
Hey,
those
check
are
them
great.
out. Questions for humans. We could have gone for a long time.
Yeah,
Go
we
get them at
almost did.
RamseySolutions.com.
Yeah, you can get them. They're only $10, so no purchase necessary. Jump in there. Oh, and sign up for the free giveaway. That's what there's no purchase necessary for. There is a purchase necessary to get these cards. But yeah, this is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and the creator, with a little help from his friends, of the Questions for Humans cards on sale now at RamseySolutions.com, and a great addition for the holidays. We were just sampling them for you here a few moments ago if you missed out. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to strike up something that doesn't have to do with politics or COVID. Be nice to have a conversation that didn't include either one of those with the family
ever again
during the holidays, or with any human ever the rest of my life. That would be great. Except I do want to remind you that yes, I see. There you go. All right, Anna is with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you so much for taking my phone call.
Sure.
And I am definitely going to buy several of those Question for Humans cards now that I hear the sample of it. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
My question is, my husband and I, we have two houses. One is our primary house, and the second one is our old house that we rented out for 2 years now. And my question for you is, should we keep our rental house as an investment, or should we sell it and basically pay off our primary residence? We have 50% equity on both houses. Both mortgages have 3% interest rates. We have no other debt. We have a 6-month emergency fully funded. Kids' college and 401k is funded to the max. So what should we do?
Wow.
Should we keep it as investments, or should we sell it and just pay off basically 90% of our debt?
Yeah. Neither one of these answers falls in the dumb column, okay? So it's just a matter of good or better and best or something like that.
Yep.
So one thing that does enter into this, I think you're probably still in the window to sell the former residence and qualify for $500,000 of gain tax-free. If you wait another year, you won't be able to, because I think I think you got 2 years to do that. Can't be rented more than 3 of the last 5 years or something like that, whatever the number is. So check your tax advisor to be sure. But that would enter into the equation for me, because I can free up $500,000 if I do it now, tax-free.
Right.
So that's handy. If you wait a little while, then we've just got an investment property versus your residence. So what I personally would do, because I have enjoyed the peace that comes when I don't have a single payment in the world, and I've enjoyed the ability to build wealth rapidly when I don't have any payments. Because of that, I think it's a shortcut. I've lived it. I know it's a shortcut to sell it and pay off your house. But if you work to pay both of them off in the next 5 years, you're not dumb. It's just a matter of better or best. So I think best is that when you take a gulp of air it's going to go all the way to the bottom of your lungs when you don't have a house payment.
Okay.
That make any sense?
Yeah, it does. That's why I'm asking you, because my husband and I were trying to figure that out, because, if we sell it now, then we don't have to deal with the taxes. But if we keep it, then we have to keep it for the long haul.
Yeah. You're gonna be landlords forever. And I mean, you've already had tenants in your old house. That's an emotional event.
Oh, well, they just moved, and that's why I'm calling you, because now we have an opportunity.
No, I'm just saying, when other people moving in where you used to sleep and live and raise your kids and your dog is just weird. I got one of my old houses we used to live in that we rent, and it's still, and there's another house 2 blocks over that's almost identical that we rent, that we own, and I don't feel any emotion about it, and I still, if the guy doesn't park his car right on the one I used to live in, it pisses me off still. I mean, it's just weird, It's kind of awkward. Does that make any sense?
It does. But I love going back to my old neighborhood and seeing my old neighbors.
Yeah, well, you can do that without a house.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anna,
let me ask you this.
Everyone who calls into the show not everyone, most people who call in the show who are landlord folks are, and Dave, tell me if I'm wrong here, but when they are into the real estate game and they want to be landlords, they're all in. I rarely hear somebody that's like, I don't know.
It's too hard to screw with if you're halfway in.
It sounds like she doesn't want to be a landlord. She just doesn't want to sell that old house.
No, she doesn't want to do something dumb, though. And her friends are going, oh, you always want investment real estate. Everybody knows you want investment real estate because everybody is foolish, but everybody knows nothing. That's what everybody knows. But, yeah. So, I mean, that's what you hear is street knowledge. Just people, your beautician has an opinion while she's cutting your hair. It's everywhere, and so it doesn't happen to me, but but I mean, the guy changing your oil's got investment advice these days. So they saw something on TikTok, so they're a dadgum expert, and they're everywhere. That's the thing you have. And about real estate, you always are taught to buy real estate. You're never taught to sell it. Always buy investment real estate, always buy a house, and nobody talks about selling real estate. And there's some times it's really good time to sell some real estate. Yeah. Really, really good time. Jake is with us. Jake's in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Jake. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
I had a game plan I wanted to run by. I know I could count on you to tell me if it was a stupid butt idea or not. So
I love you, and I'll tell you the truth.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Got $50,000 in consumer debt. I've been putting back this last year for retirement. I've got about $50,000 in retirement accounts. I've got $220 in student loans, and I have a house that I could sell for roughly $5, and I owe $280 on.
That's your personal residence?
Yes, sir.
You a doctor or a lawyer?
So, I'm anesthesia.
Good.
So pharmacist. Yeah. Okay.
Thank God. So you're making what, $250,000?
So, I'm basis 190 with overtimes 260, 270.
Almost like I've done this before. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
All right. And what does she make?
So she stays at home with the kids.
Okay.
I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay. What's your plan?
So I'm thinking about taking what's in their retirement accounts, wiping out the consumer debt, and selling the house and wiping out the student loans, renting for a year, saving the 20% for the next house, and doing things right moving forward. I don't know if it's a quick hit reset button or suck it up and buckle down and focus.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I appreciate your motivation. You're willing to do whatever it takes. That's pretty cool. Not many people are.
Yes, sir.
But you don't hate your house, and neither does your wife.
We love the house.
Okay. So I almost never sell the house if I can avoid it, as advice.
Okay.
It's if you can't afford it, we're going to get rid of it. If it's the only way to avoid bankruptcy, we're going to get rid of it. But in your case, you have this huge hole that you're in, and you have this fabulously large shovel.
Right.
So no, in order to keep the house, though, the family's going to commit to a couple of 3 years of beans and rice and no vacations, no lifestyle. Right. We're not living like a rich doctor because we're not. We're a broke doctor.
Right.
So, no, and you never cash out your retirement to pay off debt unless it's to avoid bankruptcy. Or unless you have, $2 million and you're 68 years old, you don't have any penalties, we might do it then, but not now. We're not doing this with the penalties. So stop adding to retirement. Get on a beans and rice budget. The two of you commit to completely cleaning up all of your $270,000 worth of debt with your $250,000 income. So let's say we did 90 a year. That's 3 years.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes, because it sets you free for the rest of your life then to invest and with this fabulous income. And your income's not going to do anything but go up. You've not been out that long.
And how old are your kids again?
5 and 3.
Perfect.
So let me tell you on the back end of this, what this looks like. Your two little kids are going to get to watch you struggle and make do, and y'all make dinner at home even when you're tired. And they're going to take some incredible lessons from this. They're going to change them forever. And so I would tell you, don't rob them of a 3-year learning opportunity watching their dad and mom do really hard things so that
To clean up a mess.
different. That's
Clean
right.
up your mess. Yeah,
They get to watch this thing. It's going to be great.
And you can always sell the house if you have to, but you don't have to. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods of Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ramel is with us in Long Island, New York. Hi, Ramel. How are you?
Hey, Dave and John. How are you?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
Nice. All right. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm just so far into debt, and I'm scared, and I don't know which way to go with it. And it's like, every time I get paid, it's like I'm on a roller coaster. I just go round and round, and nothing's getting done, and I'm just way over my head with everything.
How much do you owe, man?
Between credit cards and my stupid car loan, I'm at $45,000.
Okay.
What do you make?
I make about $33 an hour. So I bring before taxes about $1,300, but I bring home after taxes around $970 a week.
Mm-hmm. Are you married?
Yes, I am married, 4 kids. My wife's a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, cool.
And
what do you owe on the car in particular?
I owe $11,800 on it.
Okay. So the credit cards are you didn't take a big trip or celebrate something. This is just life has happened with this chaos, and it ended up on the credit card because you couldn't pay it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's normal.
Multiple credit cards.
Yeah, that's normal. That fits with what you were describing a while ago. The sense of being a rat in a wheel. So here's the thing. If you and your wife were to sit down today in front of John and I, and we were just sitting there at our kitchen table and all 4 of us talking, would we see 2 people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you ready to go through the pain of change because the pain of the current situation sucks enough?
We're absolutely on board. Where it's
Is
stressful,
she?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Because that's a big deal. I mean, if you because some people like the pain of the chaos more than they like the pain of change, because changing is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because you're getting ready to do some uncomfortable stuff to break this cycle, and you got to be ready for that.
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I work on a school bus. I'm a mechanic.
Okay. How old are your kids?
My oldest is 16. My son is 10. My daughter's 8, and my youngest is 5.
Okay. So here's the thing. No more eating out.
No. And I think that's our big issue.
Oh, it
100%.
is. Sure it is. Your wife is a stay-at-home mom. She now, by God, cooks.
Yep.
All right? That's her job. She's a home economist. That's her part in this.
Yep.
And when you get home, put the kids to bed and turn off the television.
Okay.
And we're going to start a budget tonight. And the two of you are going to start telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went.
Okay.
Because it's where you're sitting emotionally is a helpless, hopeless feeling. It feels stuck and out of control.
Yep. And, I had it when last week I told my wife, I'm worth more dead than alive. Because I did take one thing from your lesson. We both got term life insurance.
Good.
And,
what lesson is that? You went through Financial Peace University?
No, I just from hearing from the talk show that
I see.
Talk about term.
Okay.
So I told my wife, we got.
I got to tell you that was a stupid thing to say because it's not true. You're not worth more dead than alive. You might be worth more money at this instant, but not more money over the scope of your life. Your earning power through the scope of your life much exceeds that, and the economic and actual arithmetic value to your children, not to mention the actual fatherhood to your children, but the actual math of what it does to your family far exceeds that life insurance. So you're very valuable to your family, sir.
Okay, thank you. I needed that.
Yeah. And that's not just valuable in a spiritual sense, which is true, but I'm talking about the arithmetic. You are actually worth more alive, mathematically, okay? So, and we know the other part's true. Yeah. You're worth more as a dad. You're worth more as a person. You're a good guy. I've enjoyed talking to you for a few minutes here. So,
and you've got to, whenever we get wound up it feels like we're drowning, right? And you've got this debt, and it's hanging over you. There's also the chaos of you work on school buses.
Yes.
Yeah, you have been caught in that mess of a system in New York for the last 36, 48 months, and it's been a disaster.
Yes.
And you have a 5-year-old all the way up to a 16. Your house is a zoo right now.
Yep.
Right? And so
Absolutely.
Everything feels like it's coming apart at the seams. I need you to hear me say this. It's not.
Okay.
When you have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, and what was the other one?
8.
8 Dude, you're just going to have underwear in weird places in your house. And you're just going to have pee in weird, I don't know how this works geometrically, how it got this way in the bathroom. Some of that just is, and some of that is not going to war, not declaring civil war on Ramel.
Okay.
Okay? You're a dad who's in it's the winter, and there's no reason to go outside and scream because it's snowing. It's winter. So put a coat on, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so you're in a wild season. What can you control right now? You can control this debt. Yeah. And let's get on this plan. You can control your marriage. You can control how much you and your wife get together on the same page. And that's the beauty of getting on this plan together.
Yeah, we're going to put you into Financial Peace University and pay for it, okay? If I pay for it and give it, if I pay for it and give it to you, will you promise me you will do every single thing we say to do in the lesson?
Yes, sir.
And your wife?
And my wife, 100%.
Okay.
Hey, let me one up. And you promise, if you ever have a thought again, I think my family would be better if I wasn't here. If you ever have that thought again, do you promise you will reach out to another man that you trust and say, I'm not doing all right?
Yes, I will.
You promise?
Yes, promise.
Got it.
Okay. You're a great guy, and you're going to be fine. And in 30 years, I've walked with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people just like you. You're going to be 100% debt-free. You're going to be on a budget. You're going to have an emergency fund of $15,000 or $20,000, and you and your wife are going to have the best communication that you've ever had in the history of your marriage so far, if you will follow the stuff we teach you to do. I'll show you exactly how to do every bit of that. It's not costing you a dime. So It works, dude. It works. It changes everything when you lean into this. So you hold on. We'll pick up and get you signed up. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Proverbs says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. This time of year, when things aren't going right, it's like exaggerated. And if they're not going right with your money and you're trying to buy presents, or you feel the pressure to buy presents, or you feel the pressure to travel and you don't have the money, it's exaggerated. It doubles and triples and 10x's the stress. Hope can start to slip away. But when desire comes, it is the tree of life. Now, what that means is that when you can pull back, most of the time when you lose your hope on things, and John, you could probably give me some actual data on this, but my perception of working with someone that's lost their hope, it's because they've got whatever's going on pushed right up in their face, and the smallest thing seems awfully big when you put it right in front of your eyes. If you can push it out and get it in perspective of life, it all is small stuff.
Just as you were talking, I was thinking of, there's some classic studies, old psychological studies about learned helplessness. Mm-hmm. That when I keep striking out at little thing, like I just quit, and then something comes that I don't even bother when a new opportunity shows up. This is the way I am. This is the way I do it. I've screwed up. I've tried this plan. I tried that plan. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not good at math.
I'm not good at math.
So I can't do it.
Yeah. I tried that Bitcoin thing. It blew. I got a closet full of Beanie Babies. This is the way it is. I'm not good at this. Yeah. This money thing, I can't do it.
No, I just can't do it. Yeah, but all that is you just had the crap beat out of you.
Right.
And you just don't have anything left there's no juice left. Yeah. And so, but in that, what has happened is that you've believed a lie, right, because you took small things and put them really up close in your face, and they look like big things.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take my grandson's little tiny dinosaur and put it right in my face, and it looks like a real dinosaur. It looks like a T-Rex is coming to eat me, and that's the way these things, but when you put it back in its perspective, you go, oh, it's a little toy, look at that. And it changes everything. And that's the way this stuff is. And, like when our kids are upset about something that we realize is nothing, it's kind of cute. Right. Your little 5-year-old's really upset about a broken toy, and like their life is coming to an end, and you go, wait a minute, we could just put the wheel back on it. It's okay. Oh, save their life because they were about to die right there on the. So it's kind of cute, and I think God sometimes looks at us when we think that, oh God, we're in drama queen mode. He's just like, oh, we'll just put the wheel back on. It's
you're fine.
It's okay.
You're fine.
You're gonna be okay. Hey, our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
All right, today's question comes from Thomas in Maine. Thomas writes, I've done all that I can. I love it when a sentence starts something starts that way.
That's pretty definite.
Yep. I've explained to the babies. I need to stop interrupting, but I can already tell you where this is headed. I've done all that I can. I've explained the baby steps without rudeness or anger. I've never tried to control my wife. I helped her pay off 9 credit cards. Everything was fine, and we were on fire until about a month ago. Then my wife started using credit cards we already paid off and just got another one in the mail yesterday. I was told my money is none of Dave Ramsey's business and none of yours. So she's decided it's Christmas time and she's going to do what she wants. My wife has a master's degree in communications, yet refuses to take a job that uses her degree. So instead of her making $3,000 to $6,000 a month, she makes $2,000 a month at a job with no benefits. My wife also has student loans that are now officially none of my business. I'm very confused, very hurt, and angry. My instinct is to give up and end the marriage. This isn't the first money argument we've had, and it won't be our last. I don't see where we are going financially or in our marriage. Am I wrong for being angry about this situation? Whew. Honestly, if Thomas was here and he just said this to me, I would stop. I would take out my headphones, my earpieces, and I would give Thomas a hug. Like, it's just hard. It's just hard. It sounds like he is at resentment, and that's a hard place to be in your relationship. It's a hard place to come back from. Dave, I don't know a lot, but I can guarantee you this isn't about money. This is about something else going on in their relationship.
Oh, this is about control.
Yeah, and power, and explaining.
This is a power struggle.
Yeah,
and it has been ongoing for a long time.
Right.
And so he weaponized me in the process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you weaponize Dave Ramsey in your house, I'll just tell you it doesn't work, okay? Mm. If you go around and say Dave Ramsey said, nobody gives a crap what Dave Ramsey says. They truly don't. What they care about is information that will change their life. That's what they care about. And they don't care that it came from me. It adds no, it does not, if you turn my name into a cuss word or Ramsey in general into a cuss word in your house, you did not accomplish a thing. And so this is about control. If this marriage is gone, unless you guys get some in-depth counseling, because you are both have crossed the line of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, as Les Parrott talks about in his marriage seminars. One of them is contempt. And contempt, when you reach a relationship with anyone where you look at them with an eye roll, that it means you are contemptuous of them. It means you have completely lost any respect for them. Your need to serve them and love them is just gone. This is all about, I have to tolerate your presence and you stink. You need a bath. It starts to feel that way. That's the way this sounds, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's coming both directions, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wife is doing this back.
Yeah, she's completely had it with him. And, dude, you can say, I've done all that I can and explain this with baby steps or without rudeness or anger, and then the last line in the email is, am I wrong to be angry? There's a little inconsistency here. You've been pissed about this stuff a long time. And she has a degree in communications and refuses to use it. That's true. But not about her career. She sucks at communication.
But also people will cash out their dreams. They will cash out their professional ambitions to prove a point, right? They will drive themselves into debt. You're not going to tell me what to do. Yeah, you said it. This is about power, and this is about, I'm tired of you talking down to me. This is about, I'm tired of you telling me how I have to do whatever. This is a marriage that is hanging on by
there's been a lot of you should, you need tos in this house. Both of you.
You're gonnas. Yeah.
Both of you, instead of, hey, what if we looked out there and saw a really bright place in the future and we walked towards it together? That's a much more persuasive methodology than, if you'd get a good job instead of working at half of what you're worth, we could clean this mess up, you lazy woman.
Well, if you'd quit talking down to me and explain it's my money, Dave Ramsey can kiss my butt. I mean, and we're just going to do this in circles and in circles and in circles and
was
in circles.
what's our buddy that did the Love and Respect? He calls it the crazy cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It builds on itself, and it just spins
It's a tornado. That's right.
It spins out. It's what is it? Elder. Yeah. Gosh, I'll have to go look it up. Love and Respect is a great book. It's a great marriage book.
So, Thomas, this is when I talk to somebody in your situation.
Bad. Yeah.
Yes, and you've got to stop the fight. This is when you walk in and you lay down your sword, you lay down your shield, and say, "I'm not fighting you anymore," because this isn't about a fight. This is about getting on the same page.
Yeah. If we can't get on the same page, this is over.
This is a civil war, and we're just shooting grenades at each other, and we're going to end up killing our family and our friends and our neighbors.
In the Civil War in the United States, family shot family.
That's right.
And that's what
friend shot friend. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop fire. Don't fire another weapon.
Yeah.
Just go sit down on her side of the couch and say, "Let's."
You're
fix this
not
together.
wrong to be angry, but it's not working for you.
Yeah. Stop explaining.
You guys are going to get some help. You're in eye roll. You're in contempt. It is one of the 4 things that ends relationships permanently. Contempt is very hard to come back from. This is the Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Paul's in New York City. Hi, Paul. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and John. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just finished the Total Money Makeover, and my rent's over 50% of my take-home pay. I'm a single dad that just went through a really long and expensive divorce, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get my situation under control.
Wow. Sorry. That's horrible. Well, I mean, can we agree that 50% of your take-home pay is not mathematically sustainable?
Yes, absolutely. And the hard part is I have a 2-bedroom apartment so that my son has space, and my rent is relatively affordable for Brooklyn,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, you live in one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world.
Yeah.
So that I don't doubt that, but obviously you don't make enough money to live there.
Yeah.
So one of the two things, if you want to have a sustainable life and not end up with, substantial financial damage to your life, or you struggle and have stress, you're going to either increase your income in the next months or even year dramatically, or you're going to move.
Well, the situation becomes even more complicated when so I have split custody of my son, and in our agreement, his school is already set to stay in Brooklyn for the next 4 years. and then we would have to work out where high school is, which would most likely stay in the city. And I live in the neighborhood where his school is, and I already commute an hour into my job in Manhattan.
Was your divorce, was it amicable? Did y'all sit down and shake hands, or was it a mess?
It was a mess.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a photographer.
Okay. You're going to change careers or you're going to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I mean, regardless of the constraints that you and your ex-wife and the courts have put on you, none of you get a pass on math because we decided these things. Math is still going to kick your butt.
Yeah.
And I would love to just wave a wand and make this all okay. My magic wand's low on batteries. So something is going to change. And you're either going to change it or it's going to be changed for you. Because this is not sustainable. Bad things are going to happen and force you out of this situation. And you're just not able to be there. It's that simple. Good things are going to happen, and you find different housing, a different housing arrangement. You find and more income to be able to sustain this. But it's just, it's not like a Dave rule, and it's not like, well, here's the best thing you can do. This is, you simply cannot survive doing this long term. I mean, you can survive for a few months or maybe a year, but you've got to have a plan to develop a life that works. And this doesn't work. This is going to lead to homelessness.
And that's at the end of this line. This just becomes a mess. Is because you've created an unsustainable, you created a very anxious life. I'm just thinking about this little boy that comes home, and half of his life comes home to a exhausted, stressed out dad who's trying to figure out how to give his kid this magical life, like you mentioned, that math doesn't apply to, that can barely afford rent, that can barely afford groceries. And that's a kid constantly coming home to a tense home, to an anxious home. And that means we got to change that whole thing, because this whole thing's going to end in ash, but you're also going to end with a frazzled, exhausted kid who feels responsible for making sure dad's okay, and that's not your kid's job. And so, man, I think now you're going to start looking to take pictures in the evenings and on weekends and at big wedding events, and you're going to have to find yourself a job where you're going to make way more money.
Yeah, something's going to give. So I always suggest, if we're going to have pain, let's choose the pain instead of letting it choose us.
Yes, every time.
And there's 100% of the situation that's going to have pain. So choose the pain. The pain is a career change, an adjustment to what type of photography you do or when you do it. The pain is moving. The pain is a different housing situation within the constraints of the neighborhood, which is probably very difficult. But there's something is going to give. You can't just sit here and go, in the name of all that is noble and good for my child, I'm going to pretend like this isn't happening, because it's going to happen to you. You cannot sustain this situation. It's just that simple, and it's not me. That's just 30 years of coaching people and counseling with people that are in trouble. And dude, you're trouble looking for a place to happen right now.
And we talked about this in an earlier segment. Let's don't forget, you have the opportunity to teach your son over a 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 year period what it looks like to change midstream, to get that grit and resilience we were talking about in that earlier segment, to develop new skills and new strength, and see his dad go back to school, and see his dad get qualified for a new job, see his dad do all these really hard, gritty things for his son and for the sake of his family tree moving forward. It's not going to be pleasant at the time, but man, you're giving your kid a gift.
Yeah, you've got to get this situation healthy, because I will give you, unless your ex-wife is an anomaly, she's also facing the same thing you're facing. Unless she's like, a heart surgeon or something, and in Manhattan, making $500K, she's probably also facing the same thing. So she could be an anomaly, but if she's trying to do, it could be you all had 2 average to below average incomes when combined made it work. in the city, but split up, both of you are screwed. That may be where you are. And so your kid may be going from one stressed house to another stressed house, to John's point. Likely is. I don't know. I don't know your ex's situation, but and I'm not going to get into that. That doesn't matter. But I'm just saying there's a high probability that's going on too. So she doesn't get a pass on math just because she's pissed at you either. Math catches up with you. It works in New York. It works in California. It works in Abilene. It works in Tulsa. And it works in Nashville. And it always works the same because it's math. And you just cannot run from it. And it's not a Dave thing. It's not a Ramsey thing. It's not a hateful thing. It's not a racist thing. It's just math.
When we live in a culture that says follow your passion and follow your dreams, well, my dream is to be a photographer in Manhattan. Like, I'm going to go to the epicenter of all that is fashion and all that is high society, and I'm going to be a photographer. I'm going to capture and be an artist. And then all of a sudden, you get divorced, and rent doesn't care what your dreams are. Rent just cares what the dollar amount is.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm heartbroken for you, man.
I'm sorry you're facing this. It's hard. Yeah. And I'm not belittling how painful this is. I'm just begging you to choose your pain because of all the other pain you've been through, and in the name of creating a fantasy land for your child. Sometimes people don't choose the pain, and it will choose you if you don't choose it. So pick your poison. What's it going to be? Something's going to move. And I strongly suggest to you, my friend, that you do the moving instead of the moving being done on you. Because not acting is going to bring this to your doorstep. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Steve is in Burlington, Vermont. Hi, Steve. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave and John. It's a privilege to speak with you this afternoon.
You too. What's up?
Well, after listening this afternoon, I feel very, very lucky. I commiserate. I feel bad for those folks that are having a tough time, but there is hope. And I just got to validate you on the 7 baby steps. That's helped me over the years, even though I've made some mistakes along the road of life. But today I want to ask about RMDs and whether it's smart to take more than the required minimum distribution from my IRA to help pay down the rest of my mortgage.
Cool. Good for you. Well done, Steve. So what is your total nest egg? How much money do you have in investments in total?
I have about $450,000 in an IRA. I have $43,000 today in my savings account, which I consider my emergency fund. I also have two life insurance policies that I could cash in, and I'm thinking of doing that. Would give me roughly another $16,000 to $17,000.
And what do you owe on your mortgage?
$153,000.
Okay. Well, it's kind of on the bubble. If you cashed out enough of your investments to pay off the mortgage, you're only going to have, what, $300,000 or so left over, right?
Right.
And
I wouldn't want to do all of that, but here's what I was thinking. My income puts me in the 12% tax bracket.
Mm-hmm.
If I take withdrawals from the IRA and keep it below the next step in the tax, wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
Yeah, and begin to whittle away at it. Do you have any income? How old are you?
I am 73 years old. I am a retired firefighter. I have a pension that brings me about $43,000 a year. My wife is a retired flight attendant, and she brings in about $34,000 a year.
So you're in good shape without this money.
Without the money in the IRA,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need an income off of it to live.
No.
So, yeah, I'm gonna probably pull down pretty aggressively on this thing, and let's get this move towards getting this mortgage paid off. Now that I have this pension information, knowing you've got that income coming in, I'm with you. I can't. If you told me you had $800,000, I'd pay off your house in full today. You know, because it would still leave a sizable nest egg, and I'm kind of getting in that nervous range. I mean, $300K left over is nothing to sneeze at. You've done a wonderful job. Way to go, sir. But I just don't want to get things down that low. It starts to bother me. So yeah, let's move towards getting the house paid off out of your income and out of your RMDs, your required minimum distribution. For those of you out there listening, at 72.5, you're required to begin to draw down on traditional 401ks and IRAs because the government wants their tax money, and so they're not going to let you let it lay there and grow tax deferred anymore. They're going to make you take a minimum out according to a formula called the RMD, the required minimum distribution. So he's got to do that plus a little more right up next to, or maybe even up a whole another tax bracket. Still not going to be much in taxes, and just go ahead and push that mortgage out of the way as quickly as you can. I bet you can do it in 2 or 3 years without tearing into this nest egg, and that's where I want you to head towards. So good question, man.
I love that. And Dave, let me ask you this: it feels like being 75. Let's say fast forward to I'm 75 years old. Would I prefer to have a quote unquote safe nest egg or zero liability? Because I always feel like I don't want to have any payments.
Yeah,
that feels like my best move.
Well, I do want you to have no payments for sure. The thing is, if we can ease into this and knock it on out in a fairly reasonable period of time and preserve the nest egg, because once you pull that out of that 401k, you can't put it back. Right. So you got to build it over here on the side, and you don't have the tax protections of being in that 401k. So I would slow pedal this, because at any moment that you wanted to, you cash it out and pay it off.
Right.
In one day.
But with two pensions coming in, if you have no payments and one of you suddenly has to go to an assisted living, you have to get a nurse, and you can cash flow that, make it $75,000 a year with no payments.
Again, you could just write a check that day.
Yeah.
If something happened. If something changes in the situation, because you can just you can't undo the decision to pull it out, but you can make the decision to pull it out at any point.
So that's a much more measured approach. So you're saying
I'm going to lean into it over the next 3 years. If something else intersects this situation, like a health thing or something, then we may want to reach over and just knock it out.
Gotcha.
But we can always do that. It's always there.
There you go. But you can't undo it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's true uniquely in this age. In his age. That's not true of you 45-year-olds. You need to go freaking pay your house off. Okay? That's a different thing. So don't take, permission. If you're sitting on a pile of money that's not in your retirement account, you can pay off your house today and you're 45, shut up and do it. That's a different scenario because you've got time to build your nest egg. But at 72, we want to treasure that and protect that egg as much as we can. Jeff is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Lancaster.
Hi, thank you. Wow, thank you so much for taking my call. It's an honor to be talking to you guys. I think based on your comments just there, I have an idea of what you're going to say, but I have a similar situation to the last caller here. We had a fantastic year as a business. My wife and I own a small business here in Lancaster, and we're on baby step 6, and we have about, in a non-retirement savings account, we have about $575,000 in there. Our mortgage on our house is $374,000, and we were planning on paying off our house here relatively soon. We just had a baby a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations. Merry Christmas.
Yes. But we didn't do very good tax planning on how profitable we were. So we're looking at a $200,000 tax bill. And then the estimates that we have now talked about with our accountant for the next couple of years. So I guess the question is,
so you don't have 575, you have 375.
Right. So we have to pay that tax obligation.
Yep. Now,
and then,
if you don't pay it soon, it's going to get a penalty. Yeah.
Right. And
you've underpaid your quarterlies. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, do we use the rest of that savings account to pay off our house, or should we save it? Okay.
Where'd the 575 come from? You had an incredible year, you said. Profitable, right?
We did, yes, an incredibly profitable year.
Why would you not make that next year?
We're planning on making that next year as well.
Good.
Yeah. Also, just the tax portion of it, we have to plan for better.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, if you can make an extra $600,000 and the government takes their pound of flesh, that's part of the equation.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you're evil, you must be punished. This is our policies today. So yeah.
My favorite was we kind of missed on taxes. How bad? $275,000. Just a bit outside.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You were going to say you were going to do what else with the money? What else would you do with it?
I mean, we had planned on expanding our business, opening another store in a different city close by.
I would do that next year with next year's money after you have a paid-for house.
Okay.
And do that with cash that's left over after taxes.
I like making sure this business can it's not just a flash in the pan. It can do 2 years in a row before I start expanding. I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously got something that's working beautifully. Yeah. Proud of you. I do want you to expand. I want you to expand with cash only, not with debt. And while you're sitting in a paid-for house, you make different decisions at your business. Good question, sir. Merry Christmas. Congratulations. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the Dr. John Deloney famous podcast, is my co-host today. Open phones here as we talk about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Patrick starts us off in Louisville, Kentucky. Merry Christmas to you, Patrick. What's up?
Merry Christmas to y'all, too.
How can we help today, sir?
My question is, I'm a divorced single father of 3, and I'm having a hard time staying on a budget. I don't have anybody to hold me accountable. So that's kind of my question. It's like, what do I do to find something like that can hold me accountable?
Who's your best friend?
Probably an older couple that lives down the road from me.
Sounds like a candidate.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. Why have you chosen not to have somebody in your life that can hold you accountable? That's a choice you've made for a reason. How come?
Well, I would say it's probably where I went through my divorce and everything. I kind of just shrunk back here for a while.
There you go.
And, I just don't get too close, I guess.
Hey, that's fair. I'll give that to you, man. And you've unfortunately had to learn the hard way that you can't do life by yourself, right?
Right, it's hard.
Yeah, it's real hard. And so we talked about in an earlier segment, Dave and I, you're at a point where you got to choose your hard. You can choose to white-knuckle your way through life, raising 3 kids without any buddies to walk alongside you, without any people who are 10 or 15 or 20 years down the road from you who can give you some wisdom, without another wife, right? You can do that, or you can choose the other hard path, which is I'm going to slowly open myself back up to relationships again. That's your 2 choices. And you are seeing in real time that one of those is not working.
Yeah, so I think, what happens is in a divorce usually is you lose some friends to the one side or the other, right? And they chose a side, so to speak, and that's not unusual. So some people you thought were going to be standing beside you, including her, are not there anymore. And so, you've got to go reset your friend group, and the need for accountability on this one thing on the budget is just pointing that out.
Right.
And my guess is you probably need accountability on other things.
I don't really talk with very many people.
Yeah, so it's time.
Yeah. And my guess is this isn't the only thing you need accountability on, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking through one of the hardest things you've ever walked through in your life. Doing that alone is super tough.
Yeah.
So, the couple down the street, the people at church, if you're not in a good church, it's time to hunt one up.
Maybe grab a couple of buddies from where you work and invite them over to your house to watch the fights and just y'all do whatever. Get an online group with one of the online FPU classes.
Yeah, jump into one of the Financial Peace University classes and get accountability. There's probably a church in your area teaching it. We had 11,000 FPU classes taught this year.
Wow.
So not at this particular moment, but throughout this year there have been. So hopefully you can find one there in Louisville to plug into. But that'll give you the accountability that's all around this particular subject. And who knows, you might strike up some friendships in there. It's not unusual for those people in those Financial Peace University groups to become lifelong friends because they're fighting the same battle against the same dragons.
Or find a singles dads group or a divorced dads group. They're in your local area, man. Reach out and do that.
Yeah, there's some great churches in your market that we're familiar with. So, I'd plug in. But, here's the thing. It's normal to go through that, and you got to move on to the next thing. Dave is in Pittsburgh. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Dr. John. Appreciate you taking my call. It's an honor to talk to you guys today.
You too. Merry Christmas. How can we help?
Thank you. Merry Christmas. I have an uncle who is wanting to gift a piece of property to one of his sons, myself, and my sister. And I'm just having a hard time trying to figure out whether or not it's a good idea. My wife and I are on baby step 4, 5, and 6 right now.
How many acres?
It's maybe 2.5.
What's it worth?
I'm sorry?
What's it worth?
I don't have a dollar amount on it.
I mean, is it $2 million or $100,000 or $50,000?
Oh, no. It's probably $150,000.
Okay. I would, if he called me and asked me if he should do this, I would tell him no. Because you've got 3 different people with 3 different sets of motivations that are now co-owners in something. This is an opportunity for you guys to get in a really big family fight.
Right.
And if I were in his shoes, I would just give you some money and sell the property to give you the money. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, I was, it just came up the other day and he kind of dropped it on my lap and I'm just kind of emotional about it. So I didn't want to make a bad decision because of emotion, you know?
I mean, my advice to him would be to don't do it this way because it's going to cause, he's trying to be a blessing and he's going to cause unintended problems that he doesn't see coming.
Sure.
And that's if your sister and your cousin and you all really love each other. It's still tough.
Because they're married to somebody who has a dream about a trailer park they want to open, and somebody else wants to start a hunting lease on these 2 acres. I mean, it just gets it gets off the rails quick, man.
Yeah. How old is your uncle?
He's about 78.
In good health?
Fairly. They're trying to put a plan in place because they can see themselves not being able to be there long term at this point.
Yeah.
So, Dave, let me ask you a question on behalf of Dave here. I'm talking to Dave Ramsey. Let me ask you a question on behalf of Dave. Let's say he talks to his uncle and says, I don't think this is a wise thing. It'd probably be best if you sold it and we can just split the money that way. And he says, all right, I'll take that under consideration. And then he hands everybody an envelope at Christmas and it says, I've given you 3 this. Do you reject the gift or do you accept the gift just knowing that at some point I'm not going to fight my brother and cousin over the
Yeah, I would just hold it. If the gift is put in your hands anyway, I would just hold it very openly and kind of let the other 2 win all the fights. Yeah. Because if you enter into this, like this is life-changing stuff and everybody's going to argue over every little nuanced thing, it's just not worth it. And if it gets really heated, I'd just do a quick claim deed and give the other 2 my ownership. I would not. This is a recipe for everybody to be pissed off. Very few of these things work out well. Very few of them. This is the Ramsey Show. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you are with us. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for being here. Hey, if you're a small business owner and you've got questions about business, we're going to be doing an Entree Leadership Theme Hour here on the show, and we want your questions. We want to get in touch with you, have you participate in the show, be a caller. You've got questions about hiring and firing, questions about family business, questions about marketing, questions about running your business. I have run this business for 30 years. So I'm uniquely qualified to answer your business questions. It's what I do. We teach leadership all over America, all over the world for that matter. So you get the opportunity to call in for free, no cost, for this kind of coaching. Pretty cool. It's an Entree Leadership Theme Hour. You need to email in and get in line. The email address you use is ask@RamseySolutions.com. Put Entree Leadership Theme Hour in the subject line. ask@RamseySolutions.com. Well, it is the Christmas season, but with the Island of Misfit Toys in Washington, D.C., we've got words like recession and inflation and gas prices in the news. Crazy out there. But join me and Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Dr. John Deloney, and Ken Coleman this spring in a city near you for our Building Wealth live event tour. We're going to teach you the proven plan to inflation-proof your money. Build lasting wealth. Apply these principles to your life in a real and a practical way. The first event will be in Nashville, here in our home headquarters. We'll be doing that on January the 12th. And then we'll be in Indianapolis on February the 16th, Austin, Texas, February 23rd, Salt Lake City, Utah, April 24th, and Anaheim, California, May the 2nd. Event passes start out at just $49. Don't wait. All of our fall Building Wealth events and last spring all sold out early. These will too. Get your tickets now. They make great stocking stuffers. RamseySolutions.com/events. John is with us in New York. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for talking to me.
Sure. What's up?
My wife and I are at the point where we actually took financial peace back in the early 90s, back in Dallas. And we set up a plan, and we've been working towards that plan since then to retire around the age of 55. We're close to there now. We've got about $2.5 million net worth.
Good for you.
Now that we're that close, we're kind of scared to pull the trigger.
Okay. What are you scared of?
Just that we don't have enough saved.
How much do you need to live on?
It depends on what we do. One of the things
no kidding. What do you need to live on?
Traveling. Generally, to live on, I think we can live 50 to 75 a year max.
Okay. Well, if you got $2.5 million, if it's generating a 10% rate of return, that's $250,000 a year without touching the $2.5 million.
See, I like that number better than looking at the traditional 4% withdrawal and concerns about whether that.
Well, it has everything to do with what you've got it invested in. If you're drawing 4% and you've got it all sitting in 1% accounts, you're going to tear into the principal, right?
Right.
But if you're drawing 6 or 8% and the thing is growing at 10 or 11% on average, then you're going to be growing your account every year and still pulling off a couple of $100,000.
Okay, you're making me feel much more confident.
Well, are you invested in good mutual funds that have a long track record of north of 10%?
Yes. Our return average is right around 10%.
Okay.
For the last 10 plus years.
Okay. And so if it averaged that over the next 10 plus years and you pulled off 8%, it would grow by 2% a year. If you pulled off 6%, it would grow by 4% a year. Right?
Yeah.
Now some years it's going to be down, some years it's going to be up. Like you said, It averages 10, which means some years you made 15 and some years you made 4. But on average, if you're pulling off 8 and on average it's making 11, you've got a growth rate of 3, which is about normal inflation. Now, not current inflation, but that's normal inflation rate.
Okay, you're making me feel much better that we are, can financially do it, and now it is a plan to how we're going to live life going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's more important in this equation.
Right.
Because this idea that we do nothing for 35 or 40 years is a good way to die young.
Right. I had a grandfather that did that, and my dad did the opposite. He retired at 55. Unfortunately, he did pass at 65, but he always said for that 10 years that he didn't know how he had time to go to work before he retired because he was volunteering and constantly doing things.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to plug into something. It doesn't necessarily have to create an income, but here's the other thing. You probably have some skill sets that you could apply without breaking a sweat. You might end up making the most money you ever made in your life and not break a sweat.
Right.
An encore, you take a bow after the curtains come back up, right?
Right.
That's what both my father-in-law and my dad have done that.
I did not hear that.
I said both my father-in-law and my dad have done that. Found something completely off, out of the realm of possibility when they were doing their career jobs in their late 60s and 70s, and it's been transformative. It's been great.
And they made more than they did at their original career. Both of them.
Yep.
Yeah. That's not unusual, by the way. It doesn't have to be volunteer work, is my point. Right. It's okay to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's just the weird thing is you can end up doing it with less effort because there's no pressure. And so it's just you just kind of lean into it and it goes, woo!
And then you can tell, not the boss, quote unquote, what you really think, but you can have your opinion and say it out loud. And if you're a good leader, you want somebody who has an informed opinion that they're not afraid to say out loud because it helps the whole product become better.
Yeah.
And then you become a gift to the organization. And
exactly. Or start your own thing that you've always thought about, even if it doesn't require, you work 3 days a week at it and you hire 2 people that work 40 hours and run you a little small business, and all of a sudden that stinking thing's making more money than you ever made in your life. And it's just silly what you can do when you don't have to. It's pretty amazing. Lindsay is with us in Boulder, Colorado. Hi, Lindsay. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my question is about my children. I have 2 teenage boys. And my question is about really so that they feel like they're being treated fairly with what we spend on their extracurricular activities. My older son is 16, and he's very involved in a whitewater kayaking team, wants to try out for the national team here in the spring. We spend a lot of money on this activity. And my other son is pretty basic. I mean, he, plays school sports that are very reasonable. And
is this your issue or is this their issue?
They have no issue.
Yeah, this is inside your heart, not theirs. You can't make your boys feel anything. What you can do is treat them fairly. And if one loves one thing, that happens to be more expensive, and the other, there's not a dollar amount ledger like that, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. You're doing fine.
You're doing great.
You're doing
well, my
fine.
other question about
we told our kids growing up that there's nothing fair unless it's got the tilt-a-whirl and got cotton candy. Other than that, it ain't fair.
Okay. I mean, my question too is, my older son works mostly in the summertime, and he has contributed a little bit, but at some point, it's like.
Well, if you want to limit what you're spending on whitewater rafting, that's your choice. But you don't have to do that to be fair to the other son.
And don't use your other son as a reason to limit your spending. You be the adult and make that choice.
Yeah, and just go, this is kind of out of control. We're going to back it down a little bit here. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. And you're welcome to join us through the holidays if you're going over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house and we're on your way. If you want to stop and hang out, we've got free homemade cookies every day, and coffee is on us. And
Are you calling people's grandma's Big Bad Wolves?
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go as a song, John.
Oh, that's a song. I was thinking Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, Little Hood Red Hood.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go with my bet on that one.
Yeah. Okay. It's good. That's why you're here for the commentary. Yeah. So, anyway, come visit us. We'd love to have you. And you can also visit the Debt-Free Stage, which is what Alan and Amy did. They're here to do their debt-free scream. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're great.
Fantastic, Dave.
Cool. Good to have you guys. So, tell me, how much debt have you guys paid off?
$194,000.
All right. Whoa. How long did that take?
9 years, a little over 9 years.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We started off around 93, dropped to 50, and went back up to 180, a little over 180.
Well, there's a nice move. So what do you guys do for a living?
I'm IT vendor management.
Mm-hmm.
So I help manage vendor relationships and look for cost saves for IT groups.
Okay.
And I am a virtual assistant. I have my own business as a virtual assistant, but I was also a homeschool mom.
Very good.
For many, many years.
Yeah, good for you guys. Well done. All right, so what kind of debt was the $194,000?
All of it was our home.
You paid off your house!
All right.
Looking at weird people. So what's this house worth?
$400,000.
Wow, very nice. How much have you got in investments?
A little over $500,000.
So you're bumping up on the Baby Steps millionaire number, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
Way to go, guys. Proud of you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Dave, I do have a question around there that I've never heard. I've been listening to you since 1995.
Wow.
So around that is calculating that is how do we do, I'm a retired military,
mm-hmm.
and so I have that pension as well
mm-hmm.
as another pension,
mm-hmm.
and I've looked at multiple resources. How do we calculate pensions into your net worth?
You don't. It's technically not an asset.
Okay.
It's an income stream. You can't do anything with it, so it's not an asset. So technically, I mean, if you want to give it a present value and say, I'm getting paid $50,000 a year and it would take $500,000 to do that, I'll count it as $500. You could do that. But the good news is that you're going to have a great net worth and a great pension. Thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'll call you a millionaire, Alan.
No.
I'm not great at
I've
math.
seen it multiple ways.
Close.
So
We're this close.
I got you.
Thank you.
I think you made it, brother. You made it.
Congrats.
So tell us the story. What started you guys on this Ramsey stuff 9 years ago?
Oh, not 9 years. I'll let her talk about 9 years ago. I've been on this journey, like I said, since the early 90s. So.
Yes, we've been on this for a really long time, and we've been debt-free except the house since about 2008. And then we were in a townhome that we weren't sure if we were going to keep or not. So we were not focused on paying that off. And then in 2009, we found out he was going to be deployed to Afghanistan. So we put everything on hold except investing. And then in 2012, that townhouse flooded.
Oh, no.
So we had to rebuild our townhouse from the studs. Thankfully, we had insurance, and the kids had a good attitude. But in 2013, we sold that house and built our current home. So that's when we kind of started the journey of paying this debt off. And then we were also Financial Peace University coordinators.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. It was a lot of fun. And our students really just got us excited, and we were like, what, we can do this.
Yeah,
So,
it's doable. It's doable.
yes.
It's right there. We just got to go get it.
So in the meantime, we also cash flowed well over $100,000 for braces, college, life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We actually, so our children, we cash flowed through that, 2 associate's degrees and a bachelor's degree. Both of our kids got their associate's degree in high school. And then our daughter just graduated in May with her bachelor's degree at 19.
Wow.
Cash flowed all debt-free.
Way to go, guys.
Scholarships.
Ding, ding.
Yes.
That was efficient.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well done, you guys. Well, how's it feel to be 100% free?
No, it's absolutely amazing. It's kind of surreal because you don't realize it. You wake up sometimes and you just a great example. About a month ago, I said, "Hey, let's just go up to the Ark Encounter," and we just know we have the budget there because we've already increased our giving, we increased our saving, so now we can increase our doing. So
there you go.
It's great just to be able to. I've taken her to Savannah, so we just pick a weekend, a quarter, or every couple months, and say where you want to go. You don't have any concerns because it's all cash.
Live like no one else. Later, you can live and give like no one else.
Absolutely.
Well done. Good for you guys.
Yes.
What do you tell people? You've coordinated classes. You're millionaires almost. You 100% debt-free, house and everything. What's the secret to managing money well, to getting out of debt? What do they need to do if they're listening?
For me, it's first thing is you need to pray. You got to get wisdom from above. You can't get wisdom from yourself. Second, surround yourself with smarter people. And a great example, not to toot your horn, but Dave, I was very ignorant in money. I had some idea, but when I saw you, met you in Jackson and started listening to you, I just got educated. And of course, I listened to other personalities. So educate yourself on that. Surround yourself with good people. But I tell her one thing is if you're going to fail small. And what I mean by that is when something goes wrong, if you fall off the wagon, don't make it to where you don't feel like you can recover.
Ah, that's good.
So you can recover. And then third is
bounce back.
And fourth, I say reward yourself as you go. Like the first time we paid off before the house, we paid off all her other debt.
Paid my student loans.
Y'all's student loans.
Yeah, about 100 and some thousand, but that's another conversation. But what we did is when you paid off the first one, because we didn't consolidate at first, we just paid them off. I took her to Wendy's just to celebrate. But when we paid off,
he goes big.
Man.
Well, that was the first
My
one.
heart just started beating faster,
I'm
Alan.
just saying,
But when we paid it all off, we went to Ruth's Chris. So as you go through your journey, reward yourself small.
Now we're picking up. Okay.
So.
All right. Good.
What was the best disagreement you all got in over the last decade?
Oh, her truck. When we first got married, she always wanted a truck. And we had a minivan, and my mother-in-law has been always great, but she made the comment, she said, I hope I don't have to come pick you guys up when the van breaks down again. So we were debt-free, we had money, and I wanted
Shaming from the mother-in-law.
No.
Hope we don't have to pick you up on the side of the road.
What kind of man did you marry, Amy?
So she always wanted a truck, and I wanted to get her a truck. So I found a new one that I had a lot of major discounts. I got a lot of with military discounts, and then I had bought an old truck to help us move into the house that I actually traded it in, sold it for more than I paid for it. And I went to the dealer for 5 days, and the last day the guy goes, say, Mr. Jobson, we have your office for you. So just not top line numbers, but it was like a $43,000 truck, 42, and I had them down to 21.5 out the door, and I got them to throw in the 1-year maintenance in that package too.
Very cool.
And we looked at the used ones. We could find one of like 25 or 30 or 40,000 miles, and I said, we're gonna buy. I'm gonna get you the new truck. So she was not for it because I had him the platinum version down too, but she said no, the XLT version's fine. So she's got her F-150 and she still has it with over 200,000 miles.
Amy, I just don't see F-150 when I look at you.
She's all
I
F-150.
That's
have the
pretty cool.
F-150
That's
with a
very
bling
cool.
steering wheel and bling license plate. It's
Complete
bling.
F-150 girl.
Yes.
Okay, I got
Yes.
it. I have adjusted my paradigm. All right, hey guys, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you as a way of saying congratulations. It's got the Total Money Makeover, the Baby Steps Millionaires books in it. It's got Financial Peace University membership for a year in it. So bring the kiddos up and tell us their current names and ages these days.
This is Ava. She's 19. And this is Asa. He's also a Chick-fil-A scholar.
All right.
He got the Chick-fil-A scholarship this year and doing really well in school.
How old is he?
He's 17.
17. All right. Very good. All right. Alan and Amy, Ava and Asa from South Carolina. 194 paid off in 9 years. House and everything. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Love it! Whoop, 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 whoop. Well done. Man, that's fun. Merry Christmas, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Isaiah 26, 3 and 4. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever. For the Lord himself is the rock eternal. Corrie ten Boom said, if you look at the world, you'll be distressed. If you look within, you'll be depressed. But if you look at Christ, you'll be at rest. Oh, Corrie, well done. Well played. So the Live and Give bundle that we give to each of the debt-free screamers is on sale. If you want to do a Live and Give bundle, you can break it up, and you'd have 3 gifts in there. One for yourself if you wanted, like the Baby Steps Millionaires book, and give away the Total Money Makeover book and give away Financial Peace University. All 3 are in there. And, of course, when you get the Live and Give box, it's a bundle. It all comes in a neat box. You can give it all to somebody as a gift. It's only $99. Now, Financial Peace University is normally $99. So that means the 2 books are like free, which is like $50 worth of books free. So this is like 30-something% off, right? So it's a good deal. The Live and Give box or bundle or whatever we want to call it. Total Money Makeover book, a year of Financial Peace University and Baby Steps Millionaires, all at RamseySolutions.com/box. Shelby is in Boise, Idaho. Hi, Shelby. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi there. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I want your advice, or I want your opinion. My husband and I have a student loan debt. It's mine, $99,000. And we used to have $12,000 in credit card debt, and we're down to $5,600. So we're feeling really good about that. My question to you is, I was listening to the podcast from a couple weeks ago, and I didn't realize that with my husband's stock, he has vested stock in the company he works for, about $10,000. I didn't think about it, the fact that we kind of have all our eggs in one basket. Should we pull that and use that to pay down our debt, or should we leave it?
No, you should use it. It's not in a it's not in a retirement account. It's just vested stock. It's stock option as a benefit.
Yes.
Yeah, just cash it out. Yeah. You would not borrow on a credit card to buy stock, and in effect, that's the net effect of what you've done accidentally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would undo that and just cash it out and pay it down. And you're going to have plenty of time to invest later and invest in good mutual funds inside your retirement account once you get rid of these stinking loans, right?
Yes, agreed.
What's your household income, Shelby?
We make, between my husband and I, we make $94 a year before taxes.
Great. How long y'all been married? 2 years?
7.
7.
We have 2 kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Well, so I'm proud for the progress you've made. I want you to turn the fire up hotter and get it done faster because I want you to win. We love you, and we want you to go out there and kill it, okay? So get her done, kiddo. Well done, well played. Jessica is in Billings, Montana. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. My husband and I have been on your plan for about the last 5 years. We have done 3B for the last 2, and we've decided to go back to doing 4. We're just feeling really discouraged in not being able to afford a house where we are here in Montana, and just feeling like we're still years away even after we've been saving for the last 4. And I just wondered if you had any advice for us.
How much have you saved?
We have a $20,000 emergency fund and $47,500 in a down payment fund.
What's your household income?
Between my husband and I, it's $75,000 a year.
You need to go buy a house.
We tried. We've been trying. So we looked at a house yesterday for $265,000, which is really affordable for our area. And I know you recommend a 15-year loan, but that seems way out of reach. So on a 30, the payments would be between $1,700 and $1,800 a month, which is more like 35% of our take-home pay instead of 25%.
You're not discouraged. You're throwing a fit because you can't buy the house you want. That's not the same as being discouraged.
Okay. We just haven't been able to find anything lower than that.
Yeah, keep looking. You need to find a home that you can afford that is a blessing. Don't buy something that's a curse because you didn't look hard enough. I mean, sometimes this is an adventure, this house hunting thing. You don't have an unlimited budget. You make $70,000 a year. You have $47,000 to put down. Don't put your family into a crisis just to become a homeowner. But also, don't say home ownership's out of reach in Billings, Montana. It's not. You can do this. But, it may not be the house you saw yesterday. And yeah, I would do it on a 15-year fixed where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. Why? Because I want you to be millionaires later, and I don't want this house to ride you. I want you to ride the house.
Dave, Sheila and I, my wife and I, did something that's not really it's not in the baby steps. But we found ourselves in this situation, and tell me if this is crazy. We, as a couple, decided we are going to do essentially another Gazelle Sprint so that we can afford this down payment of a house. And we decided just to lock things down in the middle for a limited amount of time. I think we said 9 months, something like that. And we're just going to work bananas. I'll take an extra job, and I'm going to adjunct here. I'm going to do that. And let's just accelerate this process real fast to get this down payment so that we can then move this thing along.
The only thing that's not in the baby steps there is just we teach you to be intentional, not intense.
Right.
And you said, in order to get the house I want, we're gonna turn up the heat.
Yeah.
We're gonna go for it.
But and we decided together. Yeah.
And so like both of you work extra, no vacations, no eating out, and you go back to Gazelle intensity, and you take your 47 and you make it 75.
Right. And let's do this for 6 months, and let's just be bananas about it, and then then we're gonna have no problem.
Yeah. But the problem is when you do a little bit of everything, nothing gets done.
That's right.
And so you start losing death by 1,000 cuts then, and that's what I'm afraid of here. And so it's just. It is, it's not all Skittles and rainbows when you go look at houses.
No, it's the worst.
Because you always see something you can't afford.
Always.
We're drawing a house plan to build next summer, and the guy helping us with it actually added the numbers wrong, accidentally. And so when we actually added them right, the house was like ridiculous. We're like, we're not doing that. And we can afford to do it, whatever. but it's just like, it's huge. Yeah. You know, so we're not doing that. Let's fix this. So we gone through and cut the dadgum thing down. But it's depressing.
It hurts, right?
To go backward after you were up is depressing. And I can afford it.
Right.
So I have the choice. But if you don't have the choice and you've got to cut down because it doesn't fit the budget or it doesn't fit the situation, it's depressing.
Yeah.
If it's don't go drive new cars if you're getting ready to buy a new one, a used one.
Yeah.
Because a new one will blow your dadgum mind, and then you can't return.
You can't, and don't fall in the trap of frustration. If you're around a child, especially like a toddler, they get annoyed, and then they just hit something, or they just shove something over, or they bite somebody. Don't just go see a house, and then just get so frustrated
you buy it anyway.
that you buy something.
Yeah, because it's just the way it is, and you don't understand.
Just walk away.
Dave Ramsey.
Away.
Yeah.
And reset.
That's what you back up, take a cold shower, get house fever. I mean, it's a real thing. I understand. It's easy to be.
Oh, listening to her, I threw a temper tantrum the other day. I wanted to buy something, and again, I could afford it. There was no reason on the planet to buy it. None. Zero. Except I just wanted it. And my temper tantrum, Dave, was at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The grown-up me was telling the kid me I can't do this.
And the kid
me
was
that's what
like,
we're doing with this house plan.
So dumb.
We're like, the grown-up me looked at that and went, that's just dumber than crap. We're not doing that. And Sharon goes, that's ridiculous. We're not doing that. And I'm going, but I like it.
And I want it.
I want it. And yeah, I mean, that's human freaking nature.
That's right.
And if I, who teach this stuff every year for 30 years, fall for it, then Jessica in Billings, Montana, you have permission to fall for it too.
Right.
But you've got to fight the inner child.
Do the next right thing.
The one on the cereal aisle that throws a fit and says, I want it. No, call the wambulance, take 6 jobs, build up your down payment, or lower your price point that you're looking at and quit looking at houses you can't afford. And that's what you got to do. It's a pain in the butt, this thing called grown-upville. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to Austin, Ben, James, Zach, and Andrew, the Booth Dudes. They make it happen. I am Dave Ramsey. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.